Bourbon. Belts. Blockbusters. You are listening to the Triple B Podcast. Let's fucking go.
Welcome back to another episode of the Triple B Podcast, Bourbon, Belts, and Blockbusters. I'm Tim.
I'm Ryan.
And it's the show where we're going to sip on some bourbon.
Hell yeah.
We're going to talk about some wrestling.
Hell yeah.
And then we'll go to talk about those Blockbusters.
Give me a hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Let's roll skididdly-doo.
It's a holiday edition. This is the episode before Christmas.
I got my voluptuous holiday breasts.
I can't stop staring. Eyes up here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can wander, Mike.
Well, we're going to get right into it. As you know, it's my Bourbon of the Week cash-in.
Yep.
You'll see that up on TikTok. Highly recommend this one.
Absolutely.
As always. But what we got here is the Michter's Small Batch. All right? And what we know about it is it was the most admired whiskey in 2023 in the world. And then a little blurb on the back. We are proud to offer you our small batch bourbon in the Michter's tradition, hailing from one of America's first whiskey distillers. This bourbon is made from highest quality American corn and matured to the peak of perfection in hand-selected charred white oak barrels. It is then further mellowed by our signature filtration. So,
All right.
doesn't give us a lot on that flavor, but the bottle is
The
sick.
bottle is cool. I like it. Has a nice girthy head. Anyway, sorry.
Anyways,
It's my voluptuous Christmas breasts talking.
I'm stuck on his shirt again.
I'm excited for this. I don't think I've ever had a Michter's anything.
I have not either. So
Wondrous.
oh damn,
That's really good.
oh yeah,
The smell of it is absolutely delightful too. It's very sweet smelling.
it's just it has a mellow taste. Like it has a little burn, but just
Yeah.
very
But it's like a very welcomed burn.
yeah, and it has
It's very
a
nice.
sweet taste to it for sure.
Very sweet.
And this is our
oaky.
early morning shift episode again.
How many of these did you have before we started, Tim?
All of it. This is the second bottle.
This is not nearly as early as the ones we've done over this last month.
No.
But it's about 11:30. This is a nice brunch bourbon.
Yeah.
As opposed to a breakfast bourbon.
Yeah.
This is nice. That's delightful.
I'm gonna give this a 9. I think it's really smooth. This is a easy. You don't need anything with this. Just sip on it.
I think I'm going to go 8.5 on her. I'm right up there with you. I think I wish there was a little more flavor in the aftertaste. Aftertaste is quite bitter to me.
I don't get that. I don't get that. I get a.
I get like I have like a flavor.
Maybe because you were just
sitting
chewing
on
gum.
Oh, it could be the mint.
Could be the mint.
My taste buds are skewed.
It's a little skewed.
Fuck.
So just keep sipping on it. Maybe it'll wash out that gum. But no, I think very highly of this.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Purchased this at Fred Meyer a month ago.
Whoa.
I've been well prepared for
you have.
for my things of such, and so
Tim's a lot. Me and Tim are alike in a lot of ways, but this is not one of them. Tim is well organized. Tim is prepared. He does his homework on time, turns it in. We've mentioned before he's the reason that my at least one of my brothers passed high school, and then there's me on the other hand, where I prefer to wait until the last possible minute to do everything that I need to get done, but I get it done on time.
Yes, he does.
And I do it well.
Yes.
I just like to wait. Procrastination is my superpower.
Yes, he does.
That's how I feel about it. Any hoozle. Our socials, at at TripBpod on Instagram, X, YouTube, and TikTok, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon podcasts. We are the Triple B Podcast, Bourbon, Belts, and Blockbusters, and you can hit us up at triplebpod619@gmail.com. Throw us anything, ideas, comments, questions, concerns, anything you want, topics to cover. We will get back to you. We'll interact with you, and we will take your guys' thoughts and opinions.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho. Holla.
Well, this is the holiday edition, Ryan. Before we get into everything, I got a little surprise for you.
What?
Yeah. We got a little gift here.
What's going on here?
We got a nice Maker's Bourbon there, signed by Jermaine Curse.
What? Timothy.
Just wanted to say thank you, buddy, and Merry Christmas to you, and I love you, and yeah, hope you enjoy.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. That's so sweet. The old JK15.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah, dude. That's sweet. Thanks, dog.
Hell yeah.
Well, I feel bad. I came unprepared.
You're good, man.
I didn't know we were exchanging gifties.
I wanted to surprise you.
Yeah, that was got me sweating. Gotta wipe the sweat from underneath my Christmas-themed breasts.
It's just been a blast doing this
dude,
podcast,
for sure.
and I've been enjoying every moment of it.
I look forward to it every week. You know,
yeah.
And it's like has us. It's like it is like work because there's like stuff that we both have to get done throughout the week to get prepared for this. But
I look forward to it.
Exactly, it's stuff that I'm like excited to do.
Yeah.
Like before we got on, I was explaining to you that I literally waited until Thursday to do everything I had to get done for this episode today, and which was watch Raw, watch one of the movies we're covering. Still had to watch SmackDown. I game with my brothers on Friday night. It's my turn to do the fact check, so I had to listen to the podcast because the podcast is actually probably the harder part for me because I don't drive anymore.
Yeah.
Like I literally drive 8 minutes to work and then 8 minutes back from work. So I like very rarely just have, I know. And so I very rarely just find myself sitting there with my phone on, like listening to something.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, it's Thursday. I gotta because then like I took Monday off and Lindsay passed her real estate exam, which was fucking awesome.
Man, that's awesome.
And
congratulations, Lindsay.
We didn't have childcare on Monday when she went to take it, so I was originally gonna take the first half of the day, and she was like, well, now I'm stressing out because like I gotta make sure I can get home in time for you to go to work. And I was like, I'll just take the whole day. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm taking a day off to hang out with my daughter. Like it's not like I'm upset about that. So, and it's the week before break. So I was just like, fuck it. And so my whole week was just kind of thrown off. All of a sudden it was Thursday, and I was like, oh shit, I have to watch what amounts to 10 hours worth of things. And still be a good dad and still work and everything. And I made it work. I did it. I got it all done. So this week's kind of been a whirlwind, but
hell yeah, man.
I've looked forward to every second of it, and I'm stoked that we've been doing this.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's your turn
Speaking
for the
of which,
fact check. This is where we go back and listen to our last episode and call us out on our bullshit, basically, or just follow up on something we were kind of questioning, or just any interesting fact. So, Ryan, throw it at me.
All right. So, like I said, it was like a 2-hour episode. I had to do the fact check, and I was very lucky and fortunate that we actually did pretty fucking good last week on that episode. Like we mentioned last week, I think we're paying a little bit more attention and being, I don't want to say careful, because it's not like we're like in our own heads when we're talking about things, but I think when we're getting prepared for it, we're a little more prepared than we have been in the
I've definitely been looking up more things before.
Just making sure that I'm like, okay, I'm not, that's right, I'm not fucking that up type of thing. So a lot of this really is just clarifications, or just like a couple things that like escaped our memory, stuff like that. Trying to look. There is not a single correction on here. And we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things. Sweet. So they're all really just clarifications or just like reassurances of things that we mentioned and are like, that was correct, but we were just kind of questioning it,
Yeah.
type of thing. All right, so starting with how many episodes of the podcast would we be at
Oh,
if
yes.
we never went to doing weekly? Because this is episode 29.
Yeah.
We would be, last week, I believe, would have been our 16th episode,
Okay.
plus the 3 bonus episodes that we've done for Deadpool and Wolverine, Bad Blood, and War Games.
Yeah. Sweet.
Or I guess,
Well,
now, yeah. 4
Saturday
now, counting
night's
Saturday
main
night's main event, yes.
so 20 all around,
Uh,
but
yeah.
16 main ones.
yes, and so we're at 29 with 4 bonus episodes now. So 34 episodes, it would have been 20 total. So we've added 14 episodes of the show,
Sweet.
essentially. So that I just thought that was cool, and that was really easy to fact check too, because
Yeah.
I literally just looked at the dates that everything was released on Spotify.
Yeah.
So it's really simple to be like, okay, so it's like that one, and then we started going bi-weekly, so then I just skipped an episode and just kept counting.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, so what fraction is 50 out of 750? Because we were talking about milliliters and we were talking about the
Yeah.
price of the Louis 13
Yeah.
cognac. So 50 milliliter bottle out of a 750 milliliter bottle is, and this makes complete and utter sense. I don't know why we struggled with figuring that out last week, but it's 1/15. 5 goes into 75 15 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 1/15. But yeah, so the 50 milliliter bottle of the Louis 13 cognac, that was like $800, something like that
Yeah.
you said. And then we were comparing it to that like $50 bottle of bourbon, the Yellowstone bourbon that we used over the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So it was like 750 milliliters for $50 or 50 milliliters for $800 something dollars.
Did you look up by chance if that is an airplane
That's
bottle?
my next thing. An
Okay.
airplane shot is 50 milliliters.
Okay,
Yes. So that was
perfect.
another clarification that
$800
we,
for an airplane
we
bottle.
thought, but we weren't sure. Yeah, $800 for an airplane bottle. The bottle that is this fucking big. That's wild.
We gotta start distilling.
Just like we said last week, we can't make it take 100 years because that would not be beneficial.
No.
I couldn't. We talked about like Zac Efron, the movie Famous, where he's the double lead, and it's a more kind of like dark sounding, sinister type role. And how he's kind of played in a few of those more serious, dramatic, scary, whatever type roles. And the main one that we had that I had mentioned was the where he played Ted Bundy, but I couldn't remember the name of the movie.
Oh, yeah,
the name
yeah.
of the movie is Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard the name. I
Oh,
knew
really?
he played the character,
Yeah.
but I never heard the name of the movie.
Yeah.
So cool.
Meet the Parents, because we talked about Meet the Parents 4 is officially in production or pre-production, and all we could remember were Ben Stiller and Robert De Niro's character name, like the main 4. We couldn't remember either of the wives. So Terry Polo is Ben Stiller's wife, and Blythe Danner is the mom. It's,
Gotcha.
Robert De Niro's wife. And all 4 of them are in talks to reprise their roles, along with Owen Wilson,
Okay.
who is also in the franchise, and he was in all 3, Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, and Little Fockers.
Okay, perfect.
And last but not least, we talked about the Nightmare on Elm Street, and the remake was one of the ones that you didn't care for. And then I just kind of threw out, I was like, if I'm not mistaken, the actor that played Freddy went for like the same role that Johnny Depp played or whatever and lost out. So this is like the one that is a fact check and a clarification kind of in the same. So the idea of what that is did happen. I was correct in that, but it wasn't, I guess it wasn't actually the same role. Like they weren't going against each other. Johnny Depp and Jackie Earle Haley, who played Freddy Krueger in the 2010 remake, were actually friends. Mm-hmm. Johnny Depp accompanied him to the audition.
Oh.
And then the director just saw Johnny Depp and then offered him an opportunity to read for a role.
Yeah.
It apparently wasn't the same role.
Okay.
Jackie Earle Haley did not get the part, but Johnny Depp did land the part.
Nice.
So, but then Jackie Earle Haley, obviously, then, it came out in 1984. So 26 years later, ended up getting the role of Freddy Krueger.
The main role. And I think he did good. I just didn't like the way he looked.
Yeah. He like him as an actor in that role was perfect.
Oh, yeah.
I did like the way he looked because like we talked about last week, I thought just the realism of him getting burned alive and all that, and then like that's how he comes back to like haunt the people. I did like it, but anyways, yeah. Yep,
Sweet.
that's all I got for the fact check, though. That's it.
Bad.
Very clean episode, and like I said, that worked out in my favor. So I was like, whew.
Well, we got to talk about it.
We do have to talk about it. But you know what? We had an idea that things could go this way. We said last week's episode, I like verbatim said we could lose out all 4 games and go 8 and 8 and 6, 8 and 10, or whatever, and the season would still
8-9.
8-9. Yeah, you're right. 8 and 9, and the season would still be a success. Yeah, just because of the way things have gone. We've seen really good stuff. We've seen a lot of bad stuff. We've seen things that need to be cleaned up, but nobody expected us to win more than 5 games. We've already won 8, and we still have 3 games left. At least one of them, 2 of them are. I think they're all winnable games. One of them should be a win against the Bears. Should be, but who knows? And then like the Rams is always a toss-up for the most part. So
I just wasn't ready for the gut punch from the get-go. It was a 1-2 punch, and it felt like we were out of it for the game.
Yeah, I agree. It was rough. It was definitely it was a hard one to watch because of how we had been playing over the last month.
Yes.
But this game felt direct, like we went back to October, and we're just like in the midst of that 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6 game streak or whatever that was, where we lost, and we were playing very similar. They're like our offensive line all of a sudden couldn't block again. Gino was off when he was in. Sam Howell came in and looked fucking terribly. Charbonnet still busted off a few decent runs, but obviously without the blocking, and I think that kind of goes back to what I was saying last week, was like it all stems from the offensive line blocking. Charbonnet is not going to pick up that many yards after contact.
No.
He's just not. If he's getting hit, 1 to 2 yards behind the line, he is not picking up 6 or 7 yards on that run.
Yeah.
So again, not having K9, I think, hurt in that regard at least.
I will say, after the first 2 drives, our defense, the rush was still killing us. But
only in the first half, though. We shut it down in the second.
Our defense came to play, and
after those first 2
but our
drives,
offense coming off so quickly was not giving them any rest at all.
No, not at all. Like, it was like 3 and out after 3 and out after 3 and out, and then 2 turnovers.
Yeah.
Both interceptions, one by Gino, one by Sam Howell. It was, it was definitely a bummer because you're watching it and you're like, okay, the defense started to tighten up, and like to the point where in the fourth quarter we got the ball back. It was only a 10-point game. It was 23-13, and it's like, okay, if we can put a drive together, it's a 3-point game in the fourth. Like, it's a win. It's a doable thing. Sam Howell throws a pick. They immediately turn around and scored, and then it was just like, all right, the game's over. We didn't get the ball back again until
he threw the pick. I turned the game off. I couldn't finish it.
we didn't get the ball back until there was like no time on the clock or whatever it was, and it was just like, fuck, man. So I think we ran 3 plays, and the clock expired. So
you alluded to it, but those clamoring for Sam Howell, the guy did not come prepared at all.
No,
he looked lost.
This is my direct quote from before we started the show. Those of you that are calling for Sam Howell to replace Gino because Gino has 13 interceptions on the season, cut your own brakes and get on the freeway because you're a fucking idiot. Sam Howell looked terrible. Absolutely awful. He is not a starting caliber quarterback he's barely a backup caliber quarterback in the NFL. He's fucking dog shit. Mm-hmm. He should not be on an NFL roster next year, and that's just where I'm at with that.
Yeah.
So
it was just it was tough. Brightness, JSN still got 80
Dude,
yards. He's the
yep.
focal point of our passing game, and
Absolutely.
DK came up with a big like a couple, like it was just like a disguise where like it looked like he was the man we're going to, and it pulled everyone to where it opened up Jason. So the combo of the two is working, you know. So there is bright.
I'm not gonna jump on Grubb because, like, after last week, I talked about how, like, he's got to stack some play calling things. And there are a lot of people that are, like, you know, getting on Grubb for abandoning the run in that game. But here's the thing. If you look at the stats, even when we were down fucking 20-3, he didn't abandon the run. Mm-hmm. He still would come out, and he still was trying to do a fairly balanced attack. But it's like, at some point, we were down 14-0 before Grubb was able to call his fourth play of the game.
Literally.
Right? So, because we literally got the ball and went 3 and out, and then they scored again, like, immediately. And so it's fucking... At some point, it's you can't put that on the OC. He's now playing a 2-point or a 2-score deficit.
Against
the Packers, yeah. You can't just fucking sit there and just try to run the ball because now you're fighting against the clock. Even though it's early, you're still fighting against the clock regardless. Now you're trying to make up ground. And he still did a pretty decent job of, I'm not going to say play calling in and of itself was a decent job because there are definitely a lot of questionable shit. Kind of back to that same old ways there. But he didn't abandon the run in any way, shape, or form until it was like later in the game, and it was like we have to fucking try something. Yeah. And then at that point Gino's out. Like, we lost Gino partway through the third quarter.
We lost our center.
And, we lost our center. And but I forget the backup center's name.
Yeah, I can't think of who it is.
He actually didn't play terribly. That was kind of the nice thing, was he actually came in and played decent. So but yeah.
Enough about that game.
Yeah,
it was
moving
tough.
on.
We got the Vikings tomorrow. What are your thoughts?
At home again. I mean, dude, they're 12-2, legit defense. Sam Darnold is he's legit, but also streaky at the same time.
He got a lot of weapons.
He has a lot of weapons for sure. And I don't know. I feel like it's a game where it's like you could have watched a lot of the Vikings games this year and kind of been like, how the fuck are they 12-2? Mm-hmm. But you could have watched a lot of our games this year and been like, how the fuck are we 8-6?
Yep.
So it's, it's I think similar in that regard at least. I'm just hoping that it's a cleaner game for us than last week. That's really all I'm hoping for.
It's a home game, right?
It is a home game.
So they're playing outside, which is advantage us. They're in a dome.
Yeah.
So that's advantage us, but it's not always an advantage for us right now. We've been not playing our best game at home. So
if 3/4 of the fans in Lumen Field are wearing purple tomorrow, then that's another bad look.
That was pretty sad seeing how
it's happened multiple times this season.
Yeah,
too. It happened against Buffalo. Bills Mafia was out in droves.
49ers,
the Niners
droves. So it's a little sad to see we don't get that, know, because they are playing decent, good football, and we're in the playoff talk, yet the opponent is having more crowd out there. So fingers crossed the 12 show up. And
fingers crossed we show up as a team. Hopefully the team shows up and actually we get back to playing how we did in November, not back to how we played in October and last week. So we need the defense to ball out again, and we need our offense to click. So.
Just nervous about all their weapons. Jefferson is just a beast out there. And,
I know.
And they got Aaron Jones as a running back. So I'm really nervous about the rush game just because Jacobs went right through us like butter, real quick. We stopped him in the second half.
They tightened up for sure, but we didn't have much of an answer for...
We clicked. It was like 82 yards.
Yeah.
We gave up quickly to him in the first half or something.
Yeah, he had
that.
I think it was combined passing and rushing. But on their first drive, Josh Jacobs had almost 50 combined yards, just on the first. he was the only one I think that touched the ball outside of Jordan Love on that first drive.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, fuck.
Well, we talked about it. I think we need a split. You know, we talked about needing to at least split these two games, the Green Bay and the Vikings. So,
and I know records-wise it seems a little bit weird because, like last week, the Packers were 9-4 going into that game. Now they're 10-4. The Vikings are 12-2. So record-wise, the Vikings are a better team. Can't recall what the split between them in the division has been this year so far. I think they play each other again maybe one more time.
I think so.
But I would argue that the Packers are potentially the better team all around.
Yeah.
Right, all around better team. I think the Vikings defense might edge out the Packers defense, but I think the offenses I think Packers offense and special teams might be a step above. I don't know. It's a big game.
Big game.
They're all the rest of them are big games.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
We got this.
Yeah.
We got it.
We can do it.
All right, man. Wellness journey check-in number 9. Where are you at, man?
I'm at 231.2. I've lost a pound since the last one. 1.2 pounds, 10.2 total since we started doing this. Mm-hmm. So finally got back in the loss category, which was cool. I was happy about that. Might not be necessarily where I wanted to be at this point, but we had a little bit of an up, and then we had quite a long plateau for myself of I was dealing with shit and then just trying to make sure eating wise and everything was on point. Got back to it really well actually over the last couple weeks. Made it to the gym 3 days both weeks. I've been playing when I've been doing pickleball and kickball and stuff in all my classes. So I've been participating there, going in and playing pickleball on Wednesday mornings at the school. So I've been very active. I've also been trying to take some steps, still in the early stages, but some steps for better recovery and stuff. Lindsay got me for an early Christmas present a ice pod, like cold plunge tub thing.
Nice.
So I set that up Thursday. And we used that for the first time. Didn't last very long in it. I literally just used my hose, water to fill it, and didn't put any ice or anything in it, and it was already at 48 degrees. And so we got in it that night. I got in it again last night. I was able to sit in it for about a minute and a half. It was at about 49 degrees.
How long are you supposed to?
So it depends on the temperature of the water, and I'm still researching a lot about it. But what I have seen is it's like something along the lines of 55 to 60 degrees. You could be in it for upwards of 40 minutes.
Oh wow.
Then it drops significantly. It's 50 to 55 degrees. It's 10 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
And then it's 45 to 50 is 1 to 3 minutes.
Okay.
So, I last night I was right in there. I was, like I said, about a minute and a half. I still can't sit all the way down. I was right underneath my voluptuous holiday breasts. But that's purely because I have sat down both nights. I've sat fully down, but I physically can't breathe.
Gotcha.
When I go all the way down, I think it's just a combination of how cold it is, shockingly cold, takes your breath away, but also, when you're neck deep in water, it's just harder to breathe because you have the water pressure, kind of surrounding you, right? Yeah. So I think it's a combination of both those, but I literally am and that's scary.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
So I'm still working up to it, but I was able to squat down last night and then just sit there and hold it.
That's awesome.
It's wild because it's it's painfully cold when I'm in it, but then I get out and once I kind of towel off, I feel fucking great.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I feel really good. So, I've also slept better the last few nights. I got new, Sleepy Time edibles from this new brand from a different place that I hadn't tried before. And I feel like they're working really well. I like those. They're helping me sleep. And then the ice pod, the cold plunge is also supposed to help you sleep as well. It's supposed to help with sleep. It's supposed to help with recovery, inflammation, bunch of stress and anxiety, like all sorts of stuff. So I don't know. I'm going to keep doing it, try to do it daily the best I can.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
That's awesome.
But yeah, dude. What about you? Where are you at?
I am back in the lost column.
Let's fucking go. Look at us.
Look at us.
It's like we hang out so much our cycles sync up.
I'm actually at my lightest now since we started this. It's nowhere near where I thought I would be, but again, back in the lost column at 254.2. Previous lightest was 254.8.
There you go.
And so almost like a pound shy of that. Lost a pound and a half, 1.6 pounds this past 2 weeks, and getting back to the gym was critical in that, and it felt good to get back in there. And I'm just I've been more diligent at work. Because believe it or not, I may be ahead on things for the podcast, but at work I like to procrastinate things. But this past couple of weeks I've definitely been more motivated to just get it done and out of the way.
Yeah.
And so when I come home, I'm not doing as much work. It's just get to the gym and then just making better eating decisions. Had like a holiday lunch with work and made good decisions at lunch. So that's been helping, but just seeing that on the scale this morning, down a pound, because I didn't even weigh myself last week. I was just like, just get in the groove. And get back into the swing of things, and seeing that on there just big motivation for sure. So I'm excited for the next 2 weeks. I know we got Christmas and New Year's mixed in there. So, but I got through Thanksgiving making smart decisions. So I feel like I can do the same these next two holidays for sure. But
absolutely.
Super excited. Pound 1.6 down. That was awesome to see.
I'm making a time frame goal for myself, but it's very achievable, I think, and I think it's more I'm doing this to try to make sure I for myself I do stay on track over the course of the next 2 weeks. And I want to see the scale below 230.
Yeah.
So I'm at 230. Good Lord, 231.2 right now. So I want to be, I essentially need to lose 1.3 pounds to just be at 229.9.
Yeah.
Right. Over the course before New Year's.
Yeah.
That's before the end of 2024. That's kind of my goal. That gives me, today's the 21st. So essentially, 10 days?
Yeah. 10 days.
To try to drop a pound. I think that's very doable. So I just want to, that's kind of my goal.
I like it, man.
So
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, man. That brings us to belts. And before I ask you that one single question,
we have a little short recap real
just
quick.
We put out a bonus episode of Saturday night's main event. Little did we know, right when we started recording, shenanigans was going on, and might have changed our decision on how that match went. I mean, I think our opinions were in the right place.
I think so too.
Like, for how big the feud was, it was not that great of, a result as what we were expecting.
Yeah.
But the aftermath kind of is what we were feeling.
It fluffs it for sure. Yeah,
so,
definitely fluffs it.
KO, post-show, goes in, gives a package pile driver to Cody. Looks brutal on the camera. And and then he steals the Winged Eagle belt.
Yeah, and I think the most vicious part of it was him standing on top of Cody
on the stretcher.
While Cody's strapped into a stretcher. He stands on top of him and holds the Winged Eagle belt up to the crowd. Like, seeing that replay of that on SmackDown last night was like, oh shit! Like,
yeah.
Damn, yeah. I knew the pile driver happened. I knew he got into the confrontation with Hunter. I knew he took the belt. I did not know he then stood on top of the man while he was strapped into a stretcher.
Yeah.
That's a whole new level of heel KO now, Yeah. So
I think this is the the heel KO that everyone loves, and I it's exciting for TV and everything. But we'll talk about that more later. So, with that said, Ryan, what do you want to talk about?
Well, we got to start with the opening segment of Raw.
Hell yeah.
You get CM Punk out, doing his thing on the mic, calling out Seth Rollins, and boy was he calling out Seth Rollins. He was throwing barbs left and right.
Yes, he was.
Then you get Seth coming out through the crowd, and they start exchanging barbs, and then it breaks into honestly one of the best like brawls
I agree.
that have happened in a while, and we've had a lot of brawls on Raw since Adam Pearce became general manager, like weekly almost. But I loved the way that this happened, because it's like most of the time, like, yeah, they start brawling, people come out, they get separated, and then they break free and they jump back at each other, they start fighting again, and then they get separated, and that's usually the end of it. These motherfuckers broke free and went back at it like 6 different times. I swear to God. But then the one where they both broke free and then ran out back into the crowd, up and around, and then met back.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that was a cool kind of added wrinkle to it, because you don't see that very often in that situation.
Exactly.
So, I thought it was awesome. I really enjoyed the opening segment. If I were one of those pundits where you're grading all the segments, I would have given that an A 100%, because it was a fantastic opening to Raw.
The barbs were great.
Yeah.
It was the CM Punk saying, "Oh, you're right where you belong." Fans of CM Punk up there. That was just.
It was perfect.
It was a. He's so good on the mic, but so is Seth Rollins.
So Seth Rollins right back with it. Yep.
Quick bar back, and they're just so good on the mic. They're so alike, and it's just it's perfect for this feud. And
absolutely,
we get them at the Netflix premiere as the main event of the show. They're closing out the show.
What will be the new reference to January 6th.
Yes. WWE. Thank goodness.
WWE is now the new reference to January 6th.
Woo! Netflix premiere.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
All right, Timmy, what about you?
There was a new vignette that it showed right before like a Netflix one. You kind of blink and you think it is a Netflix one, but it showed 0. And then it had a cross through it. I think we're getting Penta. And I think it would be a great time to debut on that January 6th show. Fantastic wrestler if you haven't seen him. Yeah. He's incredible.
Amazing.
The only thing I'm nervous about is he got a lot of banned moves that he does that WWE probably won't let him do. Like he does like a package pile driver and stuff. He's just
for real.
He does a lot of big time moves. So I'll be curious to see how
what his
fits into
moveset is
into the WWE. But I'm super excited. I wish
AEW would just fuck off and let Ray Fenix come too, because those two together are amazing. But them in their own rights as individuals are also amazing. So.
And I also think it will make for a fun storyline down the road when he's able to come. Like, because I think that's the plan. But Penta's getting beat down by someone. Yeah, Ray comes for the save. Big pop, right?
Yep, I agree 100%.
So really excited for that. It was literally a blink and you miss it vignette.
Yes, it was for sure.
Especially if you're fast forwarding through commercials, because it was on the way back into to a match. So, excited about that.
We finally got the goddamn tag titles off of Judgment Day.
I got that too.
The War Raiders, my dogs. They finally got it. I don't know why they didn't drop it the first fucking time around. It did very little to build anything extra, so it was kind of disappointing that it happened the way it happened, but it happened nonetheless, and that's what we're here for. The Judgment Day they're probably the most phony tag champions in the history. Seriously. Potentially. It was so bad. That was was that the third title defense since they had it?
Yep.
Yeah, and the first one was 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago against the War Raiders, right? So, or I guess the second of their defenses, first of
two of their three were against the War Raiders
over the last month, and they held it for over half a year.
Yeah.
So it's just bad all around.
I think that's got to be a record, and I'm gonna say it, and it's probably gonna be hard to fact check, but that's got to be a record of
the least amount of
title reigns for how long they had the titles.
Yeah. For the length of the reign, the least amount of defenses.
Yeah,
you might be able to find that.
I'll try.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, fucking thank God. But yeah, I'm not gonna go too much into that just because I don't want to. There's another part later that I'm going to talk about, but yeah, that it needed to happen. It needed to happen. And I'm hoping that this is going to, especially with the continued backstage vignettes that we're getting between the Judgment Day, I'm just hoping that this is going to lead to the implosion of the Judgment Day. The faction is done. It needs to be over. Carlito's useless. JD McDonough's JD McDonough.
I love JD.
Yeah, he's fine.
But yeah, I get it.
He's fine, but Finn needs to be Finn Balor.
For sure.
He needs to like the demon needs to come back. He needs to be out of this whole fucking like if he's going to be a part of any faction, bring the fucking Bullet Club back.
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
the OC.
Yeah, like let's go. But it's I'm hoping that's what this is all leading to. I'm happy the tag titles are off them though, because now we can actually get title defenses that make sense.
Yes.
So
I had that. I put them down. Just really excited for the War Raiders. I like the build up they had throughout the night, just talking about their injuries and everything. It was like a feel good win for the War Raiders. I like what they were able to do with this match was, and you've already alluded to it, is we got Judgment Day cracking, like the foundation is barely there anymore for them.
Yeah.
But then we get Priest involved, causing it, very similar to what happened, at SummerSlam. And so it's perfect. It pulls them away from the tag titles so that there's not going to be any rematch. It's going to be the focus is now on Priest. So we'll finally hopefully get the ultimate final conclusion to Priest Finn Balor feud, because we really didn't get that feeling from their last match, right?
Yeah,
I think that was at Bad Blood.
Well, but then you also saw Finn cost Priest again at War Games.
War Games, so. Yes, true. So hopefully this is the definitive close to it, so then we get the Judgment Day collapse after this feud is over, which I'm assuming is coming.
All right.
Yeah. Next thing I want to talk about is the Raw on Netflix kickoff show. Did you watch that?
I did not.
All right.
I did not watch that.
So
I saw highlights. I've seen clips of it, but I didn't watch it. No.
So we find out Logan Paul is coming to Raw, and he quickly says he's going to become the world champion.
Okay.
We get Gunther saying he's sticking around on Raw, so I'm assuming that means Cody is staying on SmackDown to keep titles
interesting. Okay.
Separate. I mean, obviously things can change, but they were promoting, like Michael Cole said, Gunther, you're the face of Raw. And then quickly was like Logan Paul earlier today said he's coming for the world title. So I can already see glimpses of that feud starting. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, ain't Logan Paul full of shit on his own podcast then, huh? Because just like 2 weeks ago, he was asked about his return, and he said, I'm a dad now, man. I'm retired.
Yeah.
Fucking liar.
Michael Cole kind of said, been a lot of questions about what your future is, and he's like, I'm here on Raw. Gunther was basically saying he got his confidence back, though, after that triple threat match, so it's going to be back to being that pompous ass, so
perfect.
Love it. We had Liv Mommy confirmed for January 6th now, and they had a cool face-off there. KO crashing the event was one of my highlights of this. He was like upstairs, and he's like holding the title, and he says he's going to be at the 12/26 show. So that would be Thursday, so that doesn't make sense. But I'll have to follow up on what he meant by that. But he was talking about being on SmackDown show or something.
Yeah, he might have said the wrong day because it's 27.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then his mic got cut off before he could finalize anything. But there was like a social media post where it shows him taping his picture to Cody's face and him as champion. He's like, well, they got to correct the title.
That's with Cody's like whole coat and belt and everything. Yeah.
So
I saw that.
That was pretty funny. The real, I mean, he always steals the show when he has the mic, but Paul Heyman cuts a promo against Solo and just saying that tribal combat, there can only be one, and that's Roman Reigns. And it was awesome. It was a great promo. And then we get CM Punk coming out and in a suit, which was weird to see, but he's in a suit. And then Rollins comes out and they get face to face and
start pushing each other. Triple H
just
had to get in between them.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Just building up to what's going to be an awesome match.
Also happening on January 6th on Netflix. I thought the coolest thing was just saying, CM Punk said it, but just they got very similar personalities, him and Rollins, and they got big egos, so it's too big to have in one locker room. So it's like the perfect foundation for a feud and everything. So really liked it. Has a big fight feel to it. Shocked that we're getting it so early, but it's a big show coming to Netflix. Yeah. So you got to have a big main event. I mean, that's arguably this is like, it's going to be like this and WrestleMania will be like the two biggest shows of 2025 potentially.
That's what it feels like. Yeah,
they're setting it up like that.
Yeah.
So
really, it was a really cool little 1 hour thing on YouTube and X and on social media, but it helped build up that excitement for a Netflix show. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. Next thing I want to talk about was just the entire opening segment to SmackDown too. Like both shows this week had really strong openings. You get Bloodline out, then you get Drew McIntyre, then you get Jimmy attacking Drew McIntyre, then you get LA Knight and Andrade and the fuck is
Apollo.
his name? Apollo, thank you. Apollo Crews all coming out, and it's just like
the transition to that was so badass.
But then you have that match take place, and then during the match, now you have Shinsuke come out and attack LA Knight.
Yeah,
right. And it leads to the Bloodline winning that match, and so it was just like there was so much storytelling and feud building and storyline creation and continuance happen within that in a lot of different veins.
Yeah.
Right. Like there was a lot of different things going on, but it all happened so smoothly in a transition from one thing to another that it was great. It was just all around really good opening. And yeah, I just like, again, it was just building. You get, I put down that Solo is more and more each week. He's just turning into a legit character.
Yeah,
he's legit in the ring. Each week he's in the ring. I feel like it's more and more like you're just seeing him get better and better and better in the ring. On the mic, he's fucking just gold. He's amazing on the mic already, but he just keeps stepping it up time after time. He's feeding off of the crowd. Just completely shitting on him, and he's just giving it right back like time after time.
I would argue he's one of the best now to be feeding off the crowd.
He's so
really quick to react to it, and
he's really good.
And it comes across smoothly. Yeah. It doesn't sound cheesy.
Yeah,
it's boom. I love it.
Yeah, it's really good. You get the continuance of the build of the whole Drew McIntyre angle, which is definitely, I'm on your side now fully. It is the the He-Man Roman haters.
Yep, the He-Man Roman haters.
Because that is definitely now like CM Punk's not even in his mind. It doesn't seem like it's all about the fact that they all teamed up with Roman.
Yep.
And yeah, so you get that continuance. Then the Jimmy part, he attacks Drew. And then you get the Shinsuke and LA Knight continuance. Like it was just all around just like this great build to all these different things that have been going on. And they were able to do that cohesively in one segment. It was awesome.
Yeah, I have that written down as well. And it kind of blends in with what we were talking about with the War Raiders. Is it like it was generating multiple storylines where you can see it just from a match, and I don't think we've ever really seen that before, and it's new, it's refreshing. I really like this angle with Drew where he's going on a hit list of the bloodline, essentially the OG bloodline, and who screwed him over. I wish it was happening slower. I thought it would be, but I get that he had to come back because other people were taken out.
Yeah.
But it would have been cool just to see Jay all of a sudden get taken out. Not just mystery behind it.
Yeah.
Jimmy get taken out, and just one by one, just seeing people get taken out, and then a slow reveal to Drew being behind it.
Yeah.
But I'm still here for it because it's super exciting. And then Solo is included in this, which I like, where they're meeting eye to eye for right now, but he also is like,
in the future, I'm coming for you.
Yes. Yeah. So love this. Love the hit.
Put our differences aside for the common good, but then once that common good is done, it's war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, I loved this transition where it just quickly went to the 3 LA night and everyone running out towards them. It was just the perfect transition.
It was great. It was really good.
And then I don't think I've ever seen it where the champion goes on attack. So Nakamura attacking LA Knight.
I know.
It's like, he's the champion. He won. Like, you don't need to attack him.
Yeah, but he's continuing the feud.
Yeah, which I thought was cool, just because, again, it's not something we typically see.
Yeah.
So I really, really loved that opening.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favorite openings, even including Apollo Crews in that group.
Yeah.
Which just
he did
so random, but he did great.
It does seem random, but he did a really good job in the match.
He is a good wrestler.
Yeah.
It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it did.
So
it did. But
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My last thing, because we've hit almost every single one. Mine is KO saying he hasn't snapped yet, and what he does next is on WWE's hands. So it's just we're seeing the more villainous side, and I'm loving it. Everything about the KO thing, and he kind of has it right. Like, he pinned Cody with the stunner, but no one was there to count it. I love the angle that he's like, I'm keeping this title, and I feel like what he's referring to, it's up to you guys next, is basically saying, I am the champion. Like, you Cody's out, you're the champion, and I don't think they're gonna agree with that, and that's what's gonna snap KO.
I'm wondering if, so two things. First off, the snapping point that KO referenced, I love the way he did it, because he was saying, like, oh, when you push a man past his, like, something that wasn't not verbatim, but like something along this line, like, when you push a man past his tipping point, like, blah, 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 these are the things that happen. And the thing is, I haven't even gotten there yet. Like, and it's like, oh shit. Like, that was really like a kind of put you in your place type of moment. Like, it was like, oh fuck, like, this motherfucker is unhinged. And we haven't even seen the worst of it yet, is what he's alluding to. So I like that. And then I'm also wondering, like, so the whole Winged Eagle belt, it was one night only at Saturday Night's Main Event. But now KO still has it. This has to be leading to something, and I'm wondering if this is this going to lead to potentially a revamp and newly updated version of that belt. Like, it could it potentially be like the Universal title and the Winged Eagle belt get fucking merged somehow, and like it ends up being Cody comes back and fight, like it's like title for title type of thing, right? And then it unifies those two belts, and then that's what turns into the new WWE Championship. Maybe that would be fucking awesome. That would be sweet, and it would fall right in line with like what we've been hoping for. Yeah, and like, what else? I don't understand what else the point would be to continue the Winged Eagle angle if you're not going to do something with it.
Yeah, but I think that's what's gonna, like I was alluding to, is just, I think that's gonna be KO's snapping point, is I'm keeping this title, because he feels entitled to it. He thinks he got the win, but didn't get the, obviously the
when
official.
He's the one that pushed Cody into the ref that caused him to not get the win.
But
I
that's
love
a
that
heel,
too, though.
That's a heel look. I love that. But I think he's gonna say, "Hey, you need to announce me as champion," and they're not going to, and that's what is gonna happen. Just my thoughts, but I really like your idea because I do want to.
But the thing is like what I'm saying is because I agree with you on that. I'm just thinking the presentation of the Winged Eagle belt can't just stop then.
Yeah, I hope not.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there has to be a long game here as to why they even brought the Winged Eagle belt into the entire equation in the first place.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it was like there was a double taping of SmackDown. Like what we saw last night happened last week before Saturday night's main event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a double taping last week.
Oh, gotcha.
So last night's SmackDown wasn't live, and so what was happening at Saturday night's main event, like they already knew what was going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So like what I'm saying is like you already like the company already knew what the outcome was going to be for all of these things. Like obviously, but you know what I mean? Like even in canon and in storyline.
Are you saying wrestling's not real?
Oh, Tim.
Oh, honey.
No, but I just feel like there has to be a long game here, or it doesn't really make sense to bring the Winged Eagle belt into it.
Yeah.
And that's wishful thinking on my part because like we both want the Universal Championship to be something different. Yeah. Because it's kind of a boring belt. Yeah. When you look at all of the other titles. I know it's fucking gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. So yeah.
But like you look at all of the other titles, literally like every other title right now in the company, looks fucking great.
Yeah. And
then the Universal title just looks like this big square blob.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay. It's very basic. All right. The last thing I want to talk about, because KO is also on my list, but we've talked a lot about KO. So this is short, but I'm sticking with what I said last week, especially after what happened on SmackDown. I think Naomi is the one that did it.
Okay.
The whole thing now of when I earn it. Don't give me the belt till I earn it. And then she's the one that gets the pinfall to then get it's all just like seeds being planted for it to turn out to be she's the one that took Jade out to put herself in this spot. Yeah. I feel like, could it still be Bianca? Sure. But I feel like it's like the scales are tipping against that. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's more likely now with just the events that have happened. Yeah. That it's Naomi, and I'm fucking sticking with it. And if it is, it makes me like Naomi more. And that match last night was actually pretty good.
It was.
It wasn't a bad tag match. Naomi actually did really well. There were very few moments where I was like, ugh. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and that's considering the fact that her and Nia Jax were in the ring again together. That's been happening too many times. Hunter, listen to us. We know you do. It's been very clear. Stop putting Naomi versus Nia Jax on television, house shows, dark matches. Sure, nobody sees those. Stop putting them against each other on live television because it's not that good, even though last night was okay.
I am starting to come around to you and your idea that it is Naomi. It makes a lot more sense the way things have been playing out. But I'm still, just to be different than you, I'm still going to stick to my guns that it was Bianca.
You son of a bitch.
But no, hey, what you say, I think it's valid. It definitely feels like it's playing more into that. Yeah. I know we only stick to 5 things, but I just want to, these are just quick quick shout outs. Carmelo got an upper hand yesterday, which he got demolished. I kind of liked it last night, but yeah. Anyways,
I appreciated the rebound.
Yes.
I will at least say that.
Yes,
but then still to get the win via count out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Why are we doing this? Why is this? Have Braun Strowman be against A-Town Down. They're not doing anything, and their entire
I don't understand why
their entire team thing has been fucking garbage pretty much anyways. Have them and then continue the driving the dagger between those two.
Yeah.
Why is it Carmelo?
Yeah.
Carmelo should have been where Cruz was.
Yeah.
And Cruz could be sitting at home somewhere.
Yeah. And then lastly,
even though he did a good job.
Lastly, and this has nothing to do with what's on the show, but just hearing a lot of rumors of could be matches at WrestleMania. I feel like this year they're giving us no clues. They're planting a lot of seeds for a lot of different feuds, and what we thought could be Rock versus Roman, maybe Punk versus Roman. I
read that too. I was like, that's like the main one I've read is that they're like seriously looking into a Roman versus Punk match.
It's just throwing me for usually by now we can start seeing little seeds planted.
January 6th.
But it really they're doing a great job of keeping us on our toes. So anyways, I know that was more than 5, but I just had to get that out there.
Yeah.
That brings us to Banger of the Week. What do we got?
We already talked about it. But I put my banger of the week being the revealing of the match card at the January 6th move to Netflix so far. Because it was like literally, for the most part, leading up to SmackDown yesterday, was like we had almost no information about the match card on that Raw. And then last night we because it was after the kickoff show or whatever, then we got those announcements. So it was you're getting Rhea versus Liv for the title. You're getting CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. You're getting Roman versus Solo in the tribal combat, which we knew that one from last week's SmackDown, but that was the only one we really knew before that. And I think I said it last week. I will be shocked, and you have said this multiple times over the last few things, but that was, I think, more wishful thinking because you wanted to be there when The Rock came out. But I will be shocked if The Rock is not at that Raw.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be that would literally be jaw-droppingly shocking if The Rock is not at the biggest Raw that has potentially ever been.
Yeah.
Right? So... And what better way for that to potentially happen than for him to make his presence known during a tribal combat match for the Ula Fala?
Yeah.
And what if he just shows up and fucks them both up and takes it? He's
not part of new bloodline, OG bloodline that we know of. So
yeah.
So Solo is keeping his, he says, they both say, keeping your bloodline away, keeping your bloodline. There's the one guy in the middle that we don't know about.
Yeah. So I don't know. Well, we'll see how it goes, obviously. But I just think that card right now, and I think, are those the only 3 matches that we have confirmed for the show, or is there anything else I'm missing?
I'm assuming no. I think those are the only 3.
The only 3 so far confirmed.
Liv, CM Punk, Seth, and
Solo
and Roman. I'm assuming that the IC tournament will culminate there.
So as well. Yeah, that would make sense. But yeah, I just think the card is that's 3 matches. That's already those 3 matches right there is already the biggest Raw that we've seen in a long fucking time. So
yeah, I gotta say this, I'm so excited for this Raw. The anticipation is growing. It feels like a Mania night, and really excited.
And we're getting it. Am I correct me if I'm wrong? But didn't you tell me that it will be on at
5 p.m.
It'll be on at 5 o'clock for us.
Yep.
We might have to watch that together too.
I was gonna say I don't watch a lot of them live anymore. This show we have to watch live.
We have to watch this one live.
Yeah.
So we might, whether it's your house, my house, doesn't really matter, but we'll figure out how to make it work.
Yeah, for sure. My banger of the week. This was a tough week because I had a thing, and then the intro to SmackDown happened. I was like, oh, that's
Fuck.
But I'm gonna stick with my gut on the.
We already talked about the intro to SmackDown, so that's fine.
We
yeah.
talked about how we loved it. My banger of the week was Ludwig versus Breaker. That match was.
It was fucking awesome.
If that's the future of WWE, it's in great hands. They are athletic.
Yeah.
That match was a banger. It was toasted. It was everything I wanted. It was a great title match. So, Ludwig, man, he's underrated, I think, and he's coming into his own. And I love this storyline of Gunther pushing him out there as well. So yeah, that was my banger of the week.
Hell yeah.
Belts question of the week. I posed this one. We've been discussing tag team wrestling quite a bit.
We have.
If you were and this goes completely against what we've been wanting, but if you were forced to break apart and to push one star, which tag team are you splitting up to push that one star?
Judgment Day.
Okay. And Finn Balor? Okay.
Which I feel like is almost like a cop-out of the question, but I think it's the number one that is like, out of any team that exists, maybe in wrestling, not even just the WWE, but in general in wrestling, that needs to be broken up so that one of the people can be pushed. It's that. Yeah. And it's Finn Balor. He needs to be back in the singles run. He needs to be back in the main title. He needs to be back in his old gimmick. He needs to be away from the Judgment Day. I think especially since we thought we got kind of the conclusion to him and Priest, all it's done is just kind of drag him down. And like I've said a few times, I find myself more often than not now when I see the Judgment Day on screen, I'm like, here we go again. It's the same fucking shit now. It's no longer interesting. I think they ran it too long. Yeah. The implosion of the Judgment Day should have happened when it happened, and that should have been it. Yeah. We didn't need the implosion of the Judgment Day. Oh, psych! You were just kicking you two out, and we're continuing our own Judgment Day. And I just don't think it's gone over as well as they had hoped.
I'll just disagree a little bit. I do think they've run it too long, but I think the little tweak of just kicking them out worked, but I think it should have ended at Bad Blood. Like, that should have been done with, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you. That is a really good one. My tag team to just push one would be the Street Profits to push Tez.
I almost went with them.
Montez. I think the guy has a lot of charisma. He got the package in the ring. He's bulky dude. I think he can.
And his moveset in the ring's really good too. Yeah. Not just his package. Just wanted to point out we're hitting all of the parts here. His package looks good too. But
no, I think he could really shine in the singles division. But I also don't like. Obviously, this is a what if scenario, you know. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think Tez could definitely shine as a single star.
They were right there for me, but I was like, I guess I can't not go with Finn.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Because I think Finn is the one that makes the most sense.
Oh, absolutely.
But and also because it makes the least sense that he is in a tag team with who he's in a tag team with.
Yeah.
Right, or just in general, like he should be a singles competitor. So,
this is a two-parter question. So, following up, is there a tag team that you could split apart where you think both can be a big star? So we're not just pushing one; we're pushing both. Who do you got?
A-Town Down Under. I want Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. I think they both have the charisma of just character, right? Like on the mic work is phenomenal. They're both really good. And then in the ring, they're both really good too. So I feel like we have gotten pushes. We've talked about Austin Theory before, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But we've gotten pushes for him. They just weren't great and they weren't done well. And again, that was at a different time and creative. Yeah. And I guess to a point, but like I don't feel like we've ever gotten like a legitimate push for Grayson Waller as an individual.
He was forced into a tag team basically right away.
Yeah, almost immediately. So I think it would he definitely has that kind of what you're talking about with Tez. It's like he has that kind of full.
Yes.
He is the full package when it comes to in-ring ability, on the mic, his persona, like everything. And I think like the best way that it would be for that to happen would be delivering the final nail in the coffin of that wedge between the two of them and have them break off into singles competition against each other first.
Yeah, and I think that match would just kill.
It would be fucking awesome.
It would be kill.
Yeah.
It would be killer.
And what a good way to turn Austin Theory face.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they ain't going to be Grayson Waller.
No,
I don't
he's
think
too good as a heel.
Yeah, he's too good as a heel.
Yeah.
Austin Theory is solid in both, but I think he'd be a much better face. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree. The one that I would split up to push both as stars is DIY. Just because I watched a lot of them in NXT and see what they can do. And they're, again, one where you could split up and have them face each other and deliver just a banger of a match.
Yeah.
Ciampa is a great heel. He does great in that role. I think Gargano could be a great face as well. So that would be the team that I push as both as a star. And
again, what a fucking great match that would be to cause that would, again, be... Because that's essentially how you get a tag team breaking up, is them going against each other at to some capacity. And them in a singles match would be phenomenal as well. So
if you got time, just go watch some of their feuds on NXT. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah,
so
really good, yeah.
Perfect. That brings us to Blockbusters. What do we got?
I didn't run it long that time. We got a handful of things to talk about today again on Blockbusters. We've just been we've been kind of getting inundated with new movie information, which has been fucking phenomenal, because there was a point in time where I was like kind of struggling to find just things,
like fishing for things.
Yeah, it was. But I feel like that's kind of just the way the movie business goes, right? And show. Speaking of shows, we have a 4-episode limited series reboot. I don't fully understand the term reboot, because I feel like I've always considered a reboot being you are rebooting the franchise, which means it is like restarting.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, right? But this has been dubbed a reboot, but it is a continuance.
Yeah.
So, Malcolm in the Middle.
Hell yeah.
Which I was like, fuck yeah, because this is such an underrated show.
It really is.
The show's fucking great. But it has... This has been announced. It's going to be a 4-episode limited series. And it is returning Frankie Muniz, who plays the Ty Dooley Malcolm. Jane Kaczmarek, I think is how you say that. But she was Lois, the mom. And then Bryan Cranston, Walter White himself returning as Hal. And so it's Malcolm and his parents from the original show all returning. I have this is all new. Obviously, there hasn't been really any other information about the other 2 kids or any other returning characters yet. But I wouldn't be shocked, obviously, because the log line reads that Malcolm and his daughter are drawn into the family's chaos when Hal and Lois demand his presence for their 40th wedding anniversary. Perfect. That's like the perfect setup for a short reunion of the show. Obviously, with it being the 40th wedding anniversary, you would assume that the other 2 would also be involved there, and potentially some of the other cast members from the original show too, because if it's a wedding anniversary and you have those close friends that were in the original show to the parents, some of them might be there as well. But yeah, I read this and I was like, oh, that's fucking dope. I'm stoked for that. I'm excited, because there are certain things where I'm good with a true reboot of it, like the Harry Potter HBO Max show that's going to be coming out in, I think, 2026. All right. I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be awesome. And I think that is a franchise it deserves that. It deserves a continuation. It deserves a kind of revamp towards a new generation of fans. I love that. I think it's great. And the fact that they're doing it in a series is even better.
Yeah.
But then there's also things where I kind of like we talked about last week in the Blockbusters question of the week was like, what are some of those things that are kind of like locked in that vault for you that you hope never get touched?
Yeah.
There are a lot of shows like this that I'm like, I don't want you to ever redo them. Mm-hmm. We don't need a new version of Friends.
Yeah. No.
We don't need a new version of Malcolm in the Middle. Like, let all these shows be what they are. But if you do reunion versions of them or like continuances, I'm fucking all here for that. Fuller House, I loved it. Mm-hmm. You know, Girl Meets World. I mean, was it the best? No,
but it was good.
But I still enjoyed it. It was cool. It was serviceable. It was cool to see that continuation of those characters. And like I've talked about that a lot before. I have a very level head when it comes to those things. I don't like get upset about like, oh, they're gonna fucking ruin it. Like I'm like Dumb and Dumber 2. I was super excited about that.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a continuation of characters that I loved growing up. Mm-hmm. Anchorman, same thing. You know, like it's all those types of things where I'm just like, yeah, I just want to see those characters that I love so much continue. And so this is perfect. I'm stoked for it.
I like that it's a 4-episode, and this definitely just feels like just a reunion show. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like it's going to continue on, but you know, depending on the success of it, maybe it can. But no, just the idea of just being a quick get these characters back together is awesome. I like that idea. Speaking of reboots, I added this last minute. I don't know if you caught that.
I did not. This is news to me.
But Scrubs. It's official. The return to Sacred Heart is happening. It's been confirmed by ABC and Bill Lawrence, and some of the original cast is already in the works to return, which would include some of the cast from Season 9 as well. Season 9 was kind of a reset of the show.
Yeah, it had like the original characters in those now...
like teaching roles.
Yeah, teaching roles. Mentor roles, I think is probably the best word for it.
Yeah, so... the series ran for 9 seasons between 2001 and 2010. Rumors of a reboot have been swirling around since 2017. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of other additional information available on that, but the show is great. Like you said previously for Malcolm in the Middle, just seen Zach Braff and the other guy. I can't think. Turk.
I know.
Turkleton.
Turkleton. I can never remember the actor's name.
Brown Bear.
Brown Bear.
I can't wait to see them on screen again together. They've done commercials for like, I think T-Mobile.
Jason Momoa.
They've been great. So
it's awesome.
Really excited for this. Show was amazing. Loved every minute of it.
Yes, same. I love Scrubs. Scrubs is one that...
Your brother introduced it to me. Nathan did, yeah.
I don't rewatch this one nearly as often as other shows. But I should.
Yeah.
Because it's so fucking good.
It really is. Really, really excited about this one. And so we'll be excited to hear more people returning for this one, hopefully. Yeah. So Novocaine. This is one I added on here as well.
Looks good.
It looks crazy. It kind of... well, we'll get into it. Synopsis of this. When the girl of his dreams is kidnapped, everyman Nate turns his inability to feel pain into an unexpected strength in his fight to get her back. Stars Jack Quaid, Amber Midthunder, Ray Nicholson, and Jacob Batalon. Directed by Dan Burke and Robert Olson. And we got a release date of March 14, 2025. Basically kind of a like knockoff superhero vibe to it, kind of like Hancock is what I was getting vibes of. Looks crazy. I don't know how this
it's like Hancock vibes, but if the dude is a legit regular guy.
Yes.
Like he doesn't have, like literally his only ability is the fact that he just like he has a condition where he just doesn't feel pain.
Yes.
Right. So it's like everything, like, he can't fly, he's not super strength, nothing like that. He's just your normal fucking average guy. And if you know who Jack Quaid is and what he looks like your everyday normal average Joe.
Yes.
Right. He's not like jacked. He's not, you know, and it's like no, he's just like your normal average dude. And it's perfect. The trailer for this got me so hyped.
It looks like there's going to be some brutal scenes in it.
Oh my god! But the fucking kitchen scene, the fight where he just grabs the frying pan. Oh my god, man! Like dips his hand in the fucking boiling oil to like deep fries his hand to grab the gun out of it, but he can't feel any of it.
Love the scene where he's like, "Oh yeah, this hurts," with the arrow in his leg, and he's like, that was the worst.
Oh, that's so much worse than the other one. Pretending to feel pain because he doesn't know how to feel pain. It was so good.
Also like that it brings two of my favorite worlds together. We have Ned from Spider-Man acting in this movie and Jack Quaid from Scream.
Yeah, and the boys.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
where he also plays a just everyday average Joe in the boys.
Yeah, so super excited for this one. Looks crazy. That will be one I need to check out in the theaters. So
yeah, same. Dude, we got the world premiere of the teaser trailer.
Yeah,
for James Gunn's DCU Superman.
Yeah,
which is like the official reboot of DC movies. James Gunn and Peter Safran took over as the head of DC. It used to be the DCEU when Zack Snyder was it, with Wonder Woman, Man of Steel, Aquaman,
Batman vs
Superman, Justice League. Suicide Squad was a part of that as well, even though that was directed by James Gunn, kind of ironically.
The second one was, not the first one.
I guess that's true. Yeah. Good point. But we've gotten a couple of the DC movies since James Gunn and Peter Safran took over, like The Flash, and there were a couple of Aquaman 2. And I want to say maybe Birds of Prey came out one after they came.
No,
that was before.
No, that was before.
There was one more though that came out, but I can't remember it.
I mean, Peacemaker.
Well, yeah, the Peacemaker show. Yeah. Because like Peacemaker season 2 was after they took over. But anyways, this is like this is being considered like the actual legitimate reboot, where it is like resetting everything. Like this is apparently going to be now the beginning of what the future of DC comic book movies are going to be. So, synopsis for it. Superman tells the story of Superman's journey to reconcile his Kryptonian heritage with his family upbringing as Clark Kent of Smallville, Kansas. He is the embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way, guided by human kindness in a world that sees kindness as old-fashioned. It stars David Corenswet as Superman, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, and Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. The release date for this is July 11th, 2025 in theaters, and it is again directed by James Gunn, and written by James Gunn. The fucking trailer looks awesome.
It does.
It really looks great. It looks, and I feel like this is kind of regardless of what your thoughts on like Zack Snyder stuff was, Man of Steel, the show Smallville, the show the Lois and what is that
we got
other show that's like kind of currently happening or like just finished.
Clark and Lois.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
all of the older fucking Superman, like this looks like, the trailer looks like it's fucking hitting it on the head.
Yeah.
Like it looks like it's nailing it. It looks like James Gunn has a better understanding of the character of Superman than like anyone in the past has done it. It looks really good. I'm really excited for it. And this is coming from someone who Superman is like my least favorite superhero of all time. I think I've always thought Superman is like one of the most boring superheroes because he has fucking everyth and it's like
he's so powerful.
Yeah, like his only weaknesses are rock. Fuck you. But this trailer looks fucking dope. It looks really good. I'm super excited for it.
It looks really good, and it's like I liked the darkness of what Snyder brought to the DCU. I liked it, but this looks colorful. Superman is the beacon of hope, and you kind of get that message in this teaser trailer.
Yeah.
It definitely feels a lot closer to Christopher Reeve's Superman than anything. And
yes, for sure.
I don't know. It was refreshing seeing this trailer and
just like the suit that he's wearing, like when you like in like the opening scene or whatever, you see him like crash land and then he's like laying on his, kind of in the field position in his full suit, and the Crypto, the dog, comes up to him, but like the suit itself looks old school.
Yes.
Like it looks classic. It looks where like the Man of Steel suit was far more updated.
Yeah.
Looked like it was a more modernized version of it. This looks like a modernized take with an old school feel. Yeah. Which it looks really good. Yeah. I'm super stoked for it.
Yeah, I liked all the little brief cameos of different things, like Hawk Girl, and looked like we had one of the Green Lanterns in there.
Yep, that's is that Hal Jordan?
I think it was Hal Jordan, but I could be wrong.
It's Nathan Fillion. I don't think it's Hal Jordan. He's playing because he is Nathan Fillion. What we saw in the trailer, he is playing a character. God, I cannot remember the name of that character. But it's a part of the Lantern Corps, the Green Lantern Corps. And then there's going to be a show, apparently, based off that will then star a couple other people as Hal Jordan and Stewart.
Yeah.
That Green Lantern character's name that I can't remember.
Yeah.
The first name of. But yeah, anyway, so like that looks good. We got a glimpse of Metamorpho, too, which was the dude that kind of looked like a pale Caucasian version of Ivan Ooze.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it really did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and there were a handful of other Easter eggs and things. I love the fact that he's incorporating Crypto, the dog.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I did like, I mean, you still can tell, like, we always joke in the past, like, how does no one know Clark Kent's Superman? He looks the same. But I liked how, like, he has curly hair, like full on curly hair as Clark, and then he got slicked hair as Superman.
His presentation actually did change a little bit, but it was enough to be like, okay,
yeah.
Okay, it doesn't look exactly like it's like he's getting a perm to go to his normal day job, and then he looks like he's coming out of Greece when he's in Superman role. Yeah. So
other than that, I'm super excited. Texted you right away. It's like, check this out.
No, what was fucking wild was you sent me that link as like the I don't know, like what do you call it? Like the credits on the trailer were rolling. From me watching it. Like, I was watching it, and then I see your notification pop up, and I was like, oh, what did Tim send me? And I opened it, and it was that trailer. I was like, God, we're too fucking similar. We're watching the same shit at the exact same time throughout the week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I added this one as well, and again, we're on the same thought process here because you texted me later, and we're like, dude, I was going to add that too. This is called Death of a Unicorn. This was news to me. I hadn't seen anything about this in production or nothing, which is surprising to me because of the two leads of it. I was like, how the fuck did I not see anything about this until the trailer came out? But Death of a Unicorn, the synopsis is a man and his teenage daughter accidentally crash into a unicorn while they are en route to a crisis management summit with his boss, Del Leopold and Leopold's family. The Leopold sees the unicorn, and their scientists discover that its flesh, blood, and most of all, its horn are endowed with supernaturally curative properties, which the Leopolds seek to exploit. However, as they delve deeper into their research, they discover the deadly consequences of their actions. The cast includes Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd, and then Richard E. Grant. But the first two are like, the man was like, how the fuck did I not know about this?
Yes, exactly.
How did this go right over my head when we've been doing this show since May? So it's not like this just popped up 3 days ago and all of a sudden they have a trailer for it, right? Like this has been in production for a while. Like, I don't know how we didn't know, but anyways, it's written, directed by Alex Sharfman, and the release date will be spring of 2025. The trailer looks fucking awesome. It's like a dark comedy.
I think this is A24 as well.
It is A24, yeah. Jenna, in the trailer itself, Jenna Ortega like takes a puff off of her vape pen and then blows the smoke out, and it blows out into the A24 logo, which I thought was fucking creative and awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
You see in the trailer that like there ends up being another unicorn, which looks like a very deadly unicorn. Yes. Will Poulter is in this movie as well, which I'm super stoked for because I've loved everything he has been in pretty much since We're the Millers. It's been amazing, and he's had a complete fucking physical transformation since We're the Millers. He was like the nerdy redhead in We're the Millers, and now he has like luscious hair, and he's like jacked. He just like, holy shit, that's a completely different person. He went from a boy to a man real quick.
Real quick.
But the movie, the trailer, it fucking looks awesome. It looks like a unique idea.
Hey, this is fresh.
Yeah, like absolutely. And yeah, so I'm super excited to watch this. And I love I don't think there's ever been a single thing I've ever seen Paul Rudd in that I didn't like.
Exactly.
And so far, Jenna Ortega's right on that list too. Like
Yeah.
everything I've ever seen her in, even a couple of the indie things she did when she was younger. I loved everything she's been in. So like, this is fucking awesome. I'm so stoked for this.
It looks funny.
Yeah.
Looks like has like scary elements.
Yeah.
It looks great. I'm
Yeah.
super excited for this one.
Totally.
This was
I
one.
do think it's funny though that Jenna Ortega is. We're not even gonna have to fact check this because I'm gonna look up how old she is right now. But she continues to keep, even though she's like blowing up as an actress now, she continues to keep playing teenage roles.
Yes.
Which is funny because she's got to be in her mid 20s now.
I think
at this
she
I
just
got
turned
early
21.
20s. Okay, she's 22.
Okay.
She turned 22 on September 27th. But still, like, she could be legally out clubbing. And she's playing like a 16-year-old on screen,
I mean,
which
she
is just
fits the
funny.
role,
But she,
you know,
no,
right?
she does, and she does it
So-
so well.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. I love everything she's in. So.
Yeah.
Juror number 2, another one I threw on here. We're sticking in the Nicholas Hoult role here.
Yes.
We talked, I guess that was a couple weeks ago.
Couple
a couple
episodes
episodes ago, we talked about The Order,
Yeah.
where he is kind of like I'm not the leader, but he is kind of like one of the focal points of a cult group, right? And that's the
Yeah.
one with Jude Law, based on true story, talking about the Aryan Nation and everything. Then we just talked about Superman, where he is playing Lex Luthor, who is the arch nemesis of Superman. He is the big bad of Superman, which is funny because he also has no powers, other than he's just like a genius. But this is another one with Nicholas Hoult in it, and in a different sort of role here. The synopsis for this is family man Justin Kemp, who, while serving as a juror in a high-profile murder case, finds himself struggling with a serious moral dilemma, one he could use to sway the jury verdict and potentially convict or free the wrong killer. So, the cast is Nicholas Hoult, Toni Collette is in it, Zoe Deutch, I don't know if I said that right, Kiefer Sutherland, and J.K. Simmons. The director is Clint Eastwood, which is just right there. You're like,
Yeah.
this is going to be a good fucking movie. He is very rarely missed, at least for me. The release date was in theaters November 1st, 2024. So it's already been out in theaters, and it actually came out on Max yesterday. So it is out on Max right now. So I will be watching that probably Thursday, I would argue. Maybe Friday. We'll see, just with the holidays and everything. But I'm on break now, and Lindsay will go to work with Lainey at one point. So I will be home with a little me time to watch some shows, and I will be watching this. But essentially in the trailer, what you see is Nicholas Holt's character is driving home one night in a really rainy, dark, stormy environment, and he hits something. He gets out, doesn't see anything. He assumes it was a deer, continues on his way. Fast forward, he gets called to jury duty, and he gets called to jury duty in this murder case. Well, this murder case, as he's sitting in the jury, he starts to like recognize similarities to certain things, and he starts to kind of freak out because he's thinking that it might not have been a deer that he hit. He might actually be the person that killed this person. And now he's on the jury for the person that he thinks he killed, which means he is now in that role of helping decide whether or not the person that he thinks is probably not the killer goes to jail or goes free. But in order for him to get him to go free, he then has to kind of cough up the fact that he thinks he may have been the one that did it. So again, I think this is a totally new-ish, at least to a point, type of storyline. I haven't really seen or heard anything like this. Mm-hmm. It looks really good. The trailer was like, fuck yeah. And I'm stoked to watch this.
The way the trailer played out was like just pure gold. Like, it was just like, okay, he hit something. Oh, he's doing his due diligence, checking around, and it's just like suspenseful. And then I was like, where is this going? And then all of a sudden it starts revealing more and more. And I'm just like, holy shit, this is going to be so good.
I know. I'm so stoked for this. It looks great.
I can't really, like, I kept seeing the title, Juror Number 2, like, it was popping up on social.
I know,
but I never slowed down to watch the trailer until you posted it. And I'm like, holy shit, this looks phenomenal. So,
and this was pointed out to me by a couple of my coworkers.
Nice.
Yeah. So we were all sitting there, and I was showing them the gorge, and I showed them the order, and then because I showed them the order, they're like, "Oh wait, he's in this other show that I've seen," and they like look it up, and it was this, and then we watched the trailer for this, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm adding that to." I was like, "I know it's already out, but like whatever, like we haven't seen it yet, and it's just now coming out on streaming."
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm super excited for this one. I, too, will hopefully be watching this in the next week. So,
hopefully get to talk about it on our binge recap next week.
Yeah. All right, this brings us to Blockbusted. And what Blockbusted is it takes a movie from the previous month, typically streaming or whatever, but it takes the lowest combined score on Rotten Tomatoes, and we watch it, unfortunately, maybe sometimes, and we give our thoughts,
but we do it for the people,
and we give our thoughts, and then we give our own score on this. So this movie is called Armor. Thanks for doing the research on this every month and finding this. Yeah, it's not that easy to do on Rotten Tomatoes. Like,
I have it down.
Okay, good.
I have it down now. I have it down on my phone. That's where I find it usually. It's just like, because you can like type in filters and stuff.
Gotcha.
So I have it down to be able to find it pretty quick.
The synopsis for this great movie is Academy Award nominee Sylvester Stallone and Jason Patric star in an action-packed thriller about the lengths one man will go to save what's left of his family and reclaim his own life. James and his son Casey are armored truck drivers tasked with delivering a suspicious package. After a violent ambush on the road, James and Casey are trapped until they discover the value of what they have been carrying and join forces to outgun and outwit their attackers. Again, this cast: Sylvester Stallone, Jason Patric. It's a Prime. We watched it on Prime Video, but you can. Like you can watch it anywhere. I watched it on Apple TV. You just rent it on there.
Oh, okay.
Rotten Tomatoes score 0% critic score off of 21 reviews, 34% fan score off of 50+ reviews. So not a lot of reviews in there, but enough to give us a good, genuine idea that this is a very low-rated, perfect for our Blockbusted segment.
Yeah.
Ryan, what kind of thoughts do you got?
This was not a good movie.
You said Rollerball was a bad. This movie takes the cake. I would watch Rollerball 10 times more than this movie again.
Yeah, I hope I never have to watch either of them again. I'm going to be honest. This was bad. It was really fucking bad. There were almost no moments of this movie where I was like, oh yeah, makes sense. No, there was very little of that.
We got a return of a flashback, though.
We did.
Every weird. I think practically has a flashback.
I think only one of the ones that we've watched so far hasn't.
Yeah,
for Blockbusted. Yep. At least this flashback, it only happened twice,
but it really didn't feed into the movie.
It really didn't. It really didn't play at all a role in it outside of finding out why Jason Patric's character is an alcoholic, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that might be the only real thing, because like you don't witness any tension between him and his son
until after the flashback.
Yeah. And then and then it's like now you see what happened. And then now there's tension, but then all of a sudden he quickly like forgives the dad. And it's just like, what the fuck? The entire water scene with the truck was so fucking terrible.
This takes the cake for the log one.
Oh my god, yeah. Yes. I would rather watch Clear Cut 100% over this. It was so bad, dude. The tear gas That's not the way cars work. They were like dropping them outside the fucking vehicle, and this is an armored truck. Okay, there's not just random holes where smoke's going to come into.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I'll give them
When they put it in the cab.
Put it in the cab.
Yeah.
Sure, there might be a couple cracks or crevices, whatever. We saw the one where but also the orientation of the camera within the truck changed frequently, so I never knew what direction we were looking. The kid was laying in the same position almost the entire time, and it's like they came in from this way, from the back of the truck. They came in this way. He's laying here up against the side of it. He never fucking moves, but then all of a sudden the dad's going into the cab from this side of the truck. I was like, what is going on? And the water scene, I have to go back to this. It's fucking awful. At one point, they're in the truck, it gets fucking pushed off of the bridge, which they sat on for 14 hours without another fucking human being coming by in any way, shape, or form. But he gets pushed off into the water, and now they open the emergency exit, and water's pouring in. It was the most fake water I've ever seen before in my life. Like, even to the point where the cab or the entire truck fills with water and now they're swimming out. They were grabbing and pulling, sitting on the side of the truck. Like, that's not the way being underwater works. You would just swim out of the hole. You don't have to pull yourself up, sit on the edge, regather yourself, stand up off of it, and then swim. Like, you would just let the fucking thing fill with water and then swim up out. Yeah. It made no sense. The other thing that I had an issue with was the fact while all of this was happening, they're pushing each other up out through the fucking hole. Why the fuck was the dude that drove them off of the bridge, the one guy at the point that you thought was left, the bad guy, not paying attention and just fucking shooting them as they come out of the truck? Then they're in the water. And no, hold on, before you jump in. They're in the water. They get out of the truck. Okay, they haven't been shot yet. But instead of then swimming under the bridge to where they're out of fucking gun range, they swim the complete opposite direction, the long way to the shore. It made no sense. This is the worst movie I've ever seen before in my life, Tim. It's fucking terrible.
I will give the one guy credit for not shooting from the bridge because there was a big explosion. Maybe he got knocked over or something. There was like the big explosion to knock the truck off the bridge, and he caused that. So that would... Maybe.
But he was back.
I know he was back.
back on the other side of his fucking car. He launched the grenade, and then he was like standing back undercover. But here's the thing, Timmy. Here's the thing that completely you can't give him credit for that because he wasn't just knocked down while that was happening. He was coming down onto the shore to now hand fight the two.
True. Okay.
You have tactical weapons. They come up out, pop, pop. They're both dead. They're underwater. You're good. Leave.
All right. Full disclosure.
It was terrible.
Definitely spoilers because I don't think either of us are going to be recommending this movie to you
guys. No, absolutely not. And don't watch this film. It is a waste of 88 minutes of your life.
And $6.99 to rent it.
I think I paid $7.99. Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, you get zero tension between son and the dad throughout the whole movie until this flashback happens, and I'm like, okay, why aren't you mad at him in the beginning? You're inviting him over for dinner and everything.
Yeah, you also get the movie starts essentially with like a couple other glimpses of like Sylvester Stallone and his team kind of like ramping up and getting ready. But
how many times can you load a weapon in the
I know, yeah, seriously. But then it really starts with Jason Patrick's character like rolling over in bed, turning off the alarm, taking some pills, gets up out of bed, goes out, fills his fucking water thermos with vodka. Then he goes and leads an AA class, which, okay, that's actually not bad character development. Yeah. That's actually solid. You have the dude that is like supposed to be the sponsor for all these people and like leading an AA class, but he is actually fucking really struggling and he is drinking alcohol. Okay, cool. But then there was Nothing else about that. The rest of the movie, he's drinking all of this vodka, but it doesn't seem to have any impact on him in any way, shape, or form.
None.
It's not like he's doing anything stupid. He's fully functioning. Like there's no at all.
If anything, it's making him better. He's
seriously.
very cautious about what's going on with his job.
Yeah, seriously. And then he fucking guns down 2 of the goddamn dudes after he's been apparently drinking this vodka all day long like it was fucking nothing. And then you don't find out there's nothing about the vodka in the water bottle until we're in the truck. And he goes, I have a thermos of vodka in the cab. And the kid's like, what? You've been lying to me these last 6 years? It's like, you're bleeding out right now, son. Shut the fuck up. Why does it matter if your dad's drinking vodka? He's clearly functioning on it. It's clearly not hindering him in any way, shape, or form. If anything, it's apparently a superpower. This movie was dog shit, Tim.
None of the characters had any
There was nothing.
like how they're actors, I don't know.
Yeah.
Other than Sylvester Stallone.
and then I think this might have been the worst part about the entirety of it.
Oh God.
Who does Sylvester Stallone get picked up by at the end of the movie?
Oh, the banker.
The fucking bank manager. How is that? How do you put that in and not have any form of connection to any of the shit in any other way? Like, that's just random. Oh, let's just plop that in to make to make the fans go, what the fuck? Like, and there's nothing.
Can't wait for the sequel.
Yeah, right. Can't wait for the second one. See the continuance of these garbage stories. It was bad, Tim. It was terrible.
Bad. How did the son get shot when it was like was it a ricochet? Because it just shows a bullet hit by his head, and then he's like, oh, and then he's shot in the leg.
I know. There was no part about any of this that was realistic at all. The truck gets tipped over. They climb out the fucking what did they climb out of?
I think it was the driver's side.
Yeah, they climbed out of the driver's side door onto, which is now the top of the truck, but it's the side of the truck that's facing upwards because the truck's on its side. But both of the tactical vehicles with the gunmen in it
are on either
side of the truck.
And none of them are
They're acting like they can't see that these two are standing on top of this fucking truck. And then they're there, and start shooting at them. And then those two, somehow they miss. How do you miss? And then they drop down, and now it's like they can't fucking see them. The truck is like this. The bridge is like this. The truck is like this. The 2 cars are like this. They're standing here. And you can't just pop, dead. We're good. Get the gold. All you had to do, this number right here. That's it. Just Sylvester Stallone. I know you're like 70,000 years old. You got bad hips probably. This might break you. But the other people on your team, you had plenty of them. You had 5 other dudes. Just that's all you had to do. Just hit a little. Just look around. Just peek. Peekaboo. I see you. You're hiding behind nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
How there was no police call when the initial chase was going on. Like, you got a van swerving back and forth.
They tried to radio.
Well, I know
they had the radio jammer.
The other cars passing by, seeing this van just swerving around, and then, like you said, nobody crossing this bridge at all.
Yeah, and then how do the cops show up at the end?
Yeah,
did the jammers just all of a sudden get disconnected, and did Sylvester Stallone's character radio and be like, hey, we need some fucking help out here, and then he gets picked up and leaves? Like, all of a sudden it's just the cops are there. Like, they just found out that in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, according to the kid, that they just found out that this happened. Yeah, there's so many things that were just questionable and didn't make any goddamn sense about it.
And then why they just are cool with Sylvester Stallone at the end after he's the leader of this group holding him in this armored truck.
Yeah.
And he's just like, get out of here, man.
He's like, fine.
Cool.
Yeah. You're good to go.
Great movie.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Oscar worthy.
I'm rating it a 0.
Sylvester Stallone.
I'm rating it a -5.
Academy Award nominee Sylvester Stallone. Totally. 100%.
I'm rating this
before I even rate it, I have one more fucking issue with this movie. The very ending, as him and his son, he's like
holding
helping
his head, but then
he's like helping his son walk towards the cops. Mm-hmm. His son was shot in the right thigh. He's bleeding out.
Yeah.
Okay. He is on the left side of his son, helping him walk.
That's true. Didn't even think about that. I was just annoyed that
Motherfucker, get on the other side. He can use his left leg is fine. Use his left leg to walk, and then you be the crutch that he then doesn't have to put very much weight on his right side. But no, you're making it very difficult because you're like having to drag him. It was just so many things. How was this movie put out? Thinking that, oh, this is a good idea. This is good. We did a good job here. Congrats, everybody. You made money. I doubt it. You all probably lost your entire investment on this because it was a piece of shit. 0%, 100%, all the way. You get a 0. If I could go lower than 0%, I would, but it's physically impossible.
I agree.
This is the worst movie I've ever seen before in my life, Tim.
There was
not a moment that I was interested.
I did not like the soundtrack. There was nothing. There was just nothing. There was just nothing.
There was music in this movie?
It was like every other scene. They were just doing these random, like trying to be fancy films, shots, and it was really bad. And
there's tear gas coming into the truck. Put the foam in the corners.
Get the foam.
That'll fix it.
Why did no one try to go through the plastic hatch at the top of the armored truck?
Because it was an armored truck, Tim. From the outside, it's covered in armor. It's an armored truck, Tim.
And we got the return.
I don't feel like armored
flames.
trucks have emergency hatches.
I don't think so.
I could be wrong about that. Maybe fact check that.
Now I got to fact check.
Yeah, maybe fact check that. I just don't feel like they would.
I think this takes the Hall of Fame for worst movie out there.
So far, yes.
This was.
Could we find another? I'm sure we will in our adventures of Blockbusted.
I was reading through the fan reviews just because I was curious who was enjoying this. We had some asking, can't wait for the sequel. This was action-packed. No, it was not.
It wasn't.
Every random scene was a shot, but then nothing. They were just hovering around the armor truck.
There was not very much action.
And there's other movies out there.
Most action that took place in this movie was them driving up alongside the truck and just bouncing off of it.
Yeah. I mean, phone booth.
Why are you trying to pit maneuver an armored truck in a van? You weigh less than this fucking thing. You're not going to pit maneuver it?
Yeah. Phone Booth is a movie proving that a movie could take place in one area and be successful. This is not one of those.
Yeah.
So, anywho's, do not watch this. Please do not waste your time.
Don't do it. It was awful.
If you do like terrible movies, then this is right up your
Go
alley.
watch it. If you have terrible taste in your own life and you want to watch something that you could get you could have a better time literally watching poop come out of a dog's butthole. It's more action packed. I promise. This movie is terrible.
All right, so we gave it a glowing 0% combined score. So combined, that is 0%.
Yeah, it's awful.
Awesome. Blockbusted. Boop.
We'll be back next month.
Blockbusters question of the week. I posed this for you as well. So the question is, if you had to watch one actor's catalog for the rest of time, who would it be? And of their movies, what one do you think you'd watch the most?
This did not take me very long. It really came down between two people. And
mine came down to two people too.
I honestly, I still right now am kind of bouncing back and forth. But I'm going to say one, but I'm gonna tell you what both were.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is I think this one has just and this is a hard thing to say too. I think the person I'm going to pick has a wider variety of a catalog.
Okay.
So it came down between Robin Williams and Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn was up there on my list. I didn't ultimately choose him, but
Vince Vaughn is who I'm picking.
Okay.
Because I think his catalog is wider and I think it is deeper and I think it has a little bit more, it's a little bit more diverse. Mm-hmm. There's different roles. I mean, you think with domestic disturbance, you think with Was it Psycho?
Psycho, yeah.
Psycho with
Freaky.
And then obviously all of the comedies, the romantic comedies, just the stupid comedies, the fucking The Watch, right? The kind of science fiction-y comedies, like so many things. He's in so much shit. The cameos that he's in, because that counts as his catalog, right? Like, so you get a lot of other movies in that way as well.
Yeah.
Robin Williams is just fucking banger after banger after banger. But I also feel like it's less options.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So I went with Vince Vaughn. And then, well, I guess before I move on to the second portion of this, I'll let you go.
Yeah, so I was having a tough time and was kind of along your lines, but these two actors have, similar careers. So I was in the line of picking Paul Rudd. He was my runner-up.
Yeah. Did you go Nick Cage?
No. I went
Really thought you would.
I went with Jason Bateman.
Oh, yeah.
He got a great range of movies.
Speaking of Jason Bateman, Carry On, which we've covered before, is currently out on Netflix. I will be watching that this week as well. Anyways.
But yeah, no, Jason Bateman ultimately is what I love everything he's in.
A lot of crossover with him and Vince Vaughn, too.
Yes, he plays a lot of cameos as well, so that opened up the catalog. Super funny. And shows, too.
Yes,
right? Exactly.
Arrested
Development. So
then with Vince Vaughn, too, right?
Bad Monkey. He was in True Detective. And I agree.
All around.
So Jason Bateman. So of Vince Vaughn's movies, which one would you watch the most?
So I know you think I'm going to go Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
And that is right up there with it. But because I have already watched that one the most, I went with a different one.
Okay.
And it's The Internship.
Yeah,
I fucking love that movie. I feel like, to me, The Internship is like the closest thing to a Wedding Crashers sequel that we've gotten. Yeah, right. Because it's him and Owen Wilson back in their fucking shenanigans. It's kind of it's not a similar plot, but it's like they were doing this thing and then they do this thing. Like they have to like make a change type of thing, right? Like I feel like it's somewhat similar in that vein, at least. I love that movie so much. I think it's like a very like wholehearted type of movie, and I don't know. I love that movie a lot. It is one of my favorite Vince Vaughn movies. So that's one I went with. What about you? What Jason Bateman movie would you choose? I went with
Horrible Bosses. That movie just from the moment it starts,
it's fucking hilarious.
It's hilarious.
That's not my name. That's not my name. Charlie Day, and that is fucking gold.
Jason Sudeikis. Just the whole movie.
I like to bend her over a barrel and show her the 50 states.
That's not a line in a movie.
It is now.
Absolutely love that movie, but there's just a plethora more. Couples Retreat is great. Vince Vaughn. Yeah. Like Jason Bateman is just this like just run of the mill guy.
Dodgeball.
But he just.
Cotton needs a new pair of shorts.
But he just adds this like sarcasm, this dryness to everything, and I just
putting
love
on a blindfold. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. It's just so fucking good.
So good.
Yeah. Fuck
all right, man.
Episode 29, dude. We're almost in the 30s.
Woo! Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Let's fucking go.